And a very good evening and a good morning to our special guest that's going to be joining us today. Today, I want to talk about something that is totally unique to real estate agents in any real estate company. Did you know that being part of EXP, you actually become a shareholder, and wait for this, a shareholder in one of the largest, now let me correct that, in the largest independent real estate company on the planet. You become a shareholder. That is absolutely amazing. What other company do you know of that you come into the actual company, you spend your time, you do your hard work, and then you get earned shares? And it's these shares that actually will take you beyond real estate. And that is what's so important. That is why today, what I've done is I've brought on board probably one of the masters when it comes to talking about shares. On this call, I've got Dean. Dean, how are you doing today?
I'm fantastic. How about yourself, Stuart?
Oh no, I'm always on top of the world. This is like the greatest thing that comes onto me is waking up to win. This is really where the passion comes and drives me going forward. And the reason why I brought Dean on is I've had a number of sessions with him. He's really educated me on ShareWorks, the shares, the EXPI, all of these names that really goes above my head. But I'm actually so proud to be part of the company because I'm actually becoming a shareholder. And as I grow in time, my shares start growing more and more and more. Dean, how true is that? How true is it our agents are truly shareholders?
It's pretty much 100% true is the thing because the programs we have designed here enable our agents to, passively obtain stock through their closings as they receive awards every year, like their first closing, and actively build up stock through things like the agent equity program. So all of our agents become shareholders, often within just a few months of joining the company and having their first closing. So it's very true that we see pretty much everybody as a shareholder here.
Fantastic. And that is something that really trues to being a business entrepreneur and a business owner. So many times we come into real estate and we always get this little term that we're a business owner, yet we don't actually own anything in that particular real estate company. Yet at EXP, Glenn Sanford changed the entire world for real estate and said we become part of it. Now, the question that I've got for yourself, Dean, is how do our agents actually now start getting into this share program where they start earning shares that are almost given away for free? And also, how do they get additional shares where they actually can purchase them? How do they go through that process?
It's an excellent question, and I've come prepared with the slide deck. So let me turn on my screen share, and I'll sort of begin to run everybody here through how the stock programs here at EXP work, how you can become a part of them, and how you can maximize the amount of stock that you are obtaining while you're with the company. So one moment here. Make
Fantastic.
sure
I
it
mean, this is
loads.
truly exciting for everybody because this is something that all you got to do is just do what you do best. So over to you, Dean.
Exactly.
Go for it.
Yes. Pretty much the programs we have designed here for our agents are exactly designed that way for everybody to just do what they do best. They are designed for as you are doing real estate, closing transactions, bringing folks into the company, you're going to passively be obtaining stock while you're with EXP. And that's kind of the beauty of it is it's this passive thing that you're building up stock with. And so for a lot of our agents, you'll see, they'll come look at their stock a few years down the line after joining the company and see they have grown a fantastically healthy basis of stock that then is theirs to do with as they like. I've been with EXP for about 7 years now, and I have seen countless stories of folks having wonderful, amounts of stock growing up that they've been able to apply to future things that have helped them. So, as I go through, this is pretty much going to be a set of slides describing both of our programs that we offer here at the company. And, if anybody has any questions, you feel free to throw them into the chat box for this class, or at the very end, obviously, we can, talk with more questions. But yeah, as I'm going, just let me know if you're wondering about anything. In addition, it's a little early in my neck of the woods, so if I slip up or need to pause for a sip of coffee, just, bear with me. And yeah, thank you all for having me here this morning, or evening in everybody's case. So, when talking about stock programs here at EXP, there are two of them, like I said. The Agent Equity Program, most commonly known as the Stock Purchase Plan, and the Agent Growth Incentive Program, most commonly known as the Stock Awards Plan. Now, we're going to go through how you can become involved with both of these so you can maximize the amount of stock that you are obtaining while with EXP. Once we have finished discussing both programs, how they work, how to participate in them, and all that, we'll talk about ShareWorks, which is a system by Morgan Stanley, which everybody here has an account with. And we'll talk about how you get into it, what the functionality is for it, all that kind of stuff. And so with that, we'll go ahead and we'll get started. So our first program is the Agent Equity Program, like I was saying. And broadly speaking, the company calls it a few different things. 5% purchase plan, stock purchase plan, the 10% discount program, any one of these things. And pretty much the way this program works is you can choose to become a part of it if you would like. Once you've become a part of it, we are going to begin to take 5% of the net commission of each closing you have with EXP and use that to purchase stock for you at a 10% discount. If anybody here has ever heard of an employee stock purchase plan, whether that be from a previous job they've had or just heard about it passively, this is effectively a style of an employee stock purchase plan where you, as an agent with the company, can purchase stock through your closings. Let's first discuss how you get a part of it, how you can become part of this great program. And the way you do that is by logging into that platform I mentioned earlier, ShareWorks by Morgan Stanley. As soon as you sign into it, it's going to tell you if you are enrolled in a plan or not enrolled in a plan. And we have this little graphic here stepping you through how to get enrolled. It's pretty easy. Should you want to become a part of it, you click Enroll Now. It'll ask you how much you would like to contribute to purchase stock. And there's a single option, which is 5%, since you will be contributing 5% of your net commission. After that, a number of terms and conditions will be presented for how the program details fully work. You would select the terms for South Africa, pull them up, and review them, and then agree to them. And once agreed, then you click enroll, and then you are a part of it. So ultimately, it's about 5 button clicks, a single typed in digit of 5, and that's it to get involved. Simple, it's easy. Most folks can have it done in a minute or less. And so, it's not hard to become a part of the program. Now, once you've made that change and become a part of the Agent Equity Program, it is good to keep in mind that there is a processing period before your enrollment goes live. On the first day of each month, I go in, I pull all of the folks who have joined the program or exited the program in that month, and then I make that change. So for anybody who got enrolled in October, that will take effect on November 1st. For anybody who enrolls or withdraws in November, that would take effect December 1st. So we are always making our changes in enrollment on the first of the month. So if you're new to EXP, you log into your ShareWorks account after this training, you're excited, you get enrolled, just keep in mind, a little bit of a processing time, still a little over 2 weeks, and then you will be a part of it. And then once you're a part of it, that's it. It's active and it'll keep going. And the Agent Equity Program enrollment will persist for as long as you would like it. So you can stay a part of this program for your entire time with EXP if you would like, but also you can leave it if you want. Like I was saying, you're going to be contributing 5% of the net commission on each closing you have with EXP. If you ever decide, hey, I need to step away from that, that's okay. This program is described as at will, means you can come and go from it as you would like during your time with the company. So some folks will join, be a part of it for a year, 2 years, 6 months, whatever they're deciding, and then say, hey, I need to back off. I need to take a little bit of a break. I need to hold on to that 5%. And on the flip side, leaving the program is just as easy as becoming a part of it. You sign into your ShareWorks account, and instead of saying that you have the option to enroll in the plan, it'll say that you are enrolled in the plan. You say, I want to change my enrollment. You click to leave the plan, and then you click it again, and then you're out. 3 button clicks, you've withdrawn. It'll take effect the first of the following month. It is simple, it is easy, and it will, let you get out of the program as you need. And these are all to illustrate that this is a very easy program to get in and out of. We don't, ever force anybody to be a part of it. This is something you can optionally choose to do if it is benefiting you at that time. And it's a pretty powerful program. So we've discussed how to get a part of it, how to step away from it if needed. Let's talk about actually how it works so you can see how it's a great way to maximize the amount of stock you're getting. So up here, I have a purchase example built out that we use. And pretty much the idea here is it's using a singular transaction that you might close at the company. That said, the agent equity program applies to all transactions and all transactions in a given month. So don't view this as just like the one time a person would have purchased stock. This is just one transaction that an individual might close. This is a transaction closed 23rd of January. And I will say, we've made up pretty much most of these values. So don't go fact checking me for, accurate details on this transaction. We just chose it for pretty easy numbers. They have a net commission of 25,000 Rand. Now, net commission, in case any of you are not familiar with that term, is your commission after any splits and fees with EXP. And it's effectively what would be paid to you. We then take 5% off of that. And so for this individual, we're going to hold on to 5% of the 25,000 and hold on to 1,250 Rand. What we are then going to look at are two values. We are going to look at the conversion between Rand and dollar on the 31st of January, so on the last day of the month in which the transaction closed. We are also going to look at the value of EXP stock on that last day of the month as well. So for a deal closed January 23rd, we're going to look at the 31st for conversion rate and value of EXPI. We'll then convert Rand over into US dollar. So in this case, the conversion rate on January 31st, 2023 was 16.06 Rand to one US dollar, brings it over into $77.83 US. And then we will buy as much stock for that individual as we can at a 10% discount of the stock price. So here we have a value of just $30. We just said it because it was a flat, easy number. And we just knocked that off. So they get a $3 discount because that's 10% off of that value. And in this case, so we buy 2 shares of stock for the individual, costing them $54 of the $77.83 they have contributed, leaving also a carry forward balance of $23.83 US. I'll deal with what carry forward means in a minute, but this is just a single example illustrating it. And when they buy this stock and it posts to their account, it is their stock. And right now we're at an actually uniquely great time to be a part of the program because EXP stock price is down. A lot of folks often believe that, oh, when the value of a stock goes down, it's bad, we don't want to get involved with it. But it's actually a really good time to be a part of a program like this because think about it. Since we are at a lower price, then, we get to buy more shares of stock. So EXP is trading at 11-ish dollars, I think, or something along those lines. So for this individual, they would instead get more like 7 shares of stock at the current price instead of 2 shares, which is even more built up for them. So we're at a really good time to be a part of the program. And we'll buy the stock for them and they'll post to their account. And then they have this carry forward balance. So EXP is not a fractional stock. What that means is we cannot buy you pieces of shares of stock. So if you ever have leftover money, it'll just carry forward to your next purchase period to buy stock for you. And it'll always be rolling forward. So the leftover money never goes missing or anything along those lines. It just applies forward to our next purchase period. And once you're a part of the program, this just automatically happens as you have closings. You don't need to be, reaching out to me or your transactions team or anything like that. It'll just continually occur as you're part of the program, and you'll just be buying the stock. So that's our single example. Now we're going to get into some of the mechanics of the agent equity program surrounding timing, where it's posting, vesting, and errors. So first piece of info here is issuance. I haven't used too much equity terminology in this training, but issuance as an equity term means when we, EXP, give the stock to you as an individual. So for the issuance of stock from the agent equity program, it is issued in a 1-month delay. So at the end of any given month, I am posting the stock for all individuals who closed transactions in the previous month. So here at the end of November, we're going to post the stock for all October transactions. End of December, we're going to post it for all November transactions, and so on. And it doesn't matter that, it is the end of the following month. We retro date the stock purchase price back to the closing value of our stock on the last day of the month in which the deal closed at a 10% discount. So if you become a part of this program, always be looking in a 1-month delay. That's one of the biggest things that trips people up across the world. I have people in pretty much every country ask me that every month, just saying, hey, I closed a deal in October. Where's my stock purchase? And the answer is, we just haven't posted it yet. It'll post at the end of the month. And so once posted, it'll go to your ShareWorks by Morgan Stanley account, which we'll be talking about here farther down the presentation. And when posted, there is no vesting requirement for this purchased stock. Now, vesting is our second piece of equity terminology. Vesting just means waiting, and it will come up a lot more in our next program. But the power of the agent equity program here is there's no vesting requirements. So, what that means is this stock is yours as soon as you see it in your account. So, let's just say, it posts and your purchase price worked out to $10 US. And it posted, at the end of the following month. And at that point, EXP is dramatically shot up and are trading at, let's say, $15 a share. You could turn around and sell your stock at, that exact point if you would like. It is yours. You can do with it as you want. So it just has that power that, it is your property. It's going to start paying dividends to you. It is just a benefit to you at that point. It's really powerful just as it's a way to obtain this stock. And so we're seeing it posting in this 1 month delay. And as you are seeing it post, there's this errors clause that I always try and make sure folks are aware of, just because, I want to make sure you all know how the program works and make sure you are aware of everything. So if you're a part of the program, it is very important to review each of your purchases for accuracy and completeness. Now, effectively, what that means is going in, checking your stock purchase, and seeing if it seems somewhat reasonable. Because let's just say you close 3 transactions in a month. It's a really good month. And you contribute, several thousand rand for stock purchase. And then you see our stock purchase posts for that month, and a single share of stock was bought for you. That might raise a flag in your head. That might make you a little concerned. And if you are ever worried that the stock purchase seems off, then you're going to want to reach out to us. Now, I do always say that, for our agents in the US, they kind of get the easy check on the, errors clause just because it is in their local currency. So for anybody in any of our other countries, honestly, I do say, even if you don't know if there's an error and you're just curious, reach out to me. I can generate stock purchase breakdowns very quickly for folks, and I'll be happy to show you how we purchased the stock, what the conversion rate was, all that kind of stuff, just so that way you don't have to go in and do the math converting from rand to dollar, because that can be a little bit tricky. Totally recognize that. Now, the reason we want you reviewing these purchases is we only have a 30-day window following the posting of a stock purchase to make a correction. And errors are quite rare. They do not come up very often. I don't actually know if we've had a correction for South Africa this year. We might have had one correction or two, but they're pretty uncommon by the grand scheme of things. So don't expect there to be errors, but we just really appreciate the double check. This program has some 60,000 participants in it, so it's always good to have that second pair of eyes to make sure, does that seem reasonable? And you just reach out to stock at exprealty.net. That's my email. And we'll check, and we'll give you the details just to make sure it is all correct. And we have this little blurb here at the bottom of the slide, tax treatment of the ADP. I do want to make a note that in everybody's ShareWorks account, you do have a tax supplement prepared for all of our programs here at the at EXP, specific for South Africa. So if you ever log into your ShareWorks account and go to the Documents tab, you can find a tax treatment in there of the agent equity program in case you are curious about it, or in case you want to give it to an accountant who can then parse it for you. And so that's the agent equity program. Like I was saying, it is an optional program. And I suppose I did fail to mention that nobody starts enrolled in it because you have that cost out of pocket. You do need to choose to become a part of the agent equity program. And, if you become a part of it, then you'll begin to purchase stock. It is the optional but very active way to obtain stock with the company. And I need to take a quick sip of coffee. And at this moment, does anybody have any questions that they want to ask about that program before I go into our next one? So we've covered the agent equity program, the optional stock purchase plan. Now we are going to move into the agent growth incentive program, which a funny little story for everybody here. This is our stock awards plan, and that's what it was designed as. Glenn named it the Agent Growth Incentive Program, and we had a meeting with him some 2-3 years ago where we were talking with him, and we brought up the Agent Growth Incentive Plan, and he was like, "What the heck is that?" We were like, "That's the stock award program." He's like, who named it that? You're like, you did, Glenn. You named it the Agent Growth Incentive Program. And from there, he just wanted us to call it Stock Awards, which we completely agree with. So, for the Stock Award plan, pretty much the way this one works is everybody is immediately a part of the Stock Awards plan. You do not need to enroll in this, you're already a part of it. And by being an agent with EXP, you are going to receive stock awards for achieving various milestones with the company. These stock awards will be granted to you worth a certain amount of stock, and they will vest over a period of time, typically 3 years. Once they become fully vested, then the stock is issued to you and becomes your property. So effectively, this is where you're just going to be seeing stock granted to you for being with the company and meeting the requirements we've laid out at no cost to you. So, before I dig into the specific awards, I always like to cover the mechanics of this program first, just so I can lay my groundwork. So, like I was saying, you are going to be achieving stock award grants. These grants will be achieved upon meeting certain performance metrics laid out by the company, which I will cover on the next slide. The way we'll grant them is in that 1 month delay I was mentioning for the agent equity program. So at the end of any given month, I'm posting the stock awards for the previous month. Here around, I would say November 20th or so. It depends on sort of how it times out because we have a holiday here in the States. We will be posting the stock awards for everybody in South Africa who earned one. So it's usually around the 20th for our non-US countries. And what we will do is we look at each award earned, and those awards each have a value in rand. We will then look at the fair market value of our stock, which is FMV, and the conversion rate of our the conversion rate between rand and US dollars on that last day. We'll convert it from a rand value to a US value and then take our stock price and calculate it out to a number of shares that will then post to your account. Once posted, you will get an email notifying you that you have received a stock award and to go in and accept that stock award. And then, once in your account, it will be subject traditionally to a 3-year vesting period. And once that vesting period has been met by just staying with EXP for those 3 years, the stock becomes yours. No charge out of pocket or anything along those, it just becomes your stock. It is worth noting that should you leave EXP prior to satisfying that vesting period, then it will forfeit the award. So this does require you to stay with the company. And to contrast it with the agent equity program, that stock in the agent equity program is yours as soon as it's in your account. It cannot be forfeit, it cannot be lost. It is just yours to do with as you like. With the stock award plan, you do have this waiting period. So that's why I, often like to encourage folks to participate in the agent equity program while they're also getting stock awards. So that way you're getting a blend. You're getting this active stock that is yours as soon as it's in your account from the agent equity program, while building up this basis of stock awards that will begin to vest after 3 years. And once vested and the shares are issued to you, they're yours. EXP is never going to touch them. You can do with it as you like. And a big detail that I always like to stress in all my trainings when it comes to stock awards is that these stock awards each come with their own vesting period. So it's not that they all become fully vested after 3 years with EXP. It is that after you've been with EXP for 3 years, you will begin to see your awards vest, whether that be every couple of months, once a year, depending on how many awards you have earned. But this is all about earning a basis of stock that will begin to vest over this time with your company, and thus you'll begin to receive stock passively after a period of time. So that's our foundation of how the program works. I have my little blurb down there. We have a tax treatment for this program also included in your ShareWorks account that you can check out whenever you like. Now we're going to dig into the actual awards because I find it is a lot easier to explain when we're actually covering these awards. So we have here the 3 most common awards with the company: the first closed award, the capped award, and the sponsor award. Now, the first closed award, as you might expect, is an award you will get for your first closing. The way it works is effectively you have your first full unit closing with EXP, which is just a transaction, and then you have earned that award. It's simple, it's easy, and that is the most common award we have earned here at the company because, if you're with EXP, ideally you're closing transactions and you're going to receive the award. Once obtained, it's worth 2,000 Rand. And what we're going to do again is take the stock price and conversion rate. Pardon me, my dog just heard a school bus driving by. Let me close my office door really quick. So we're going to take the conversion rate between Rand and US dollar on the last day of the month in which you had that closing, and then convert that value over to US dollars, and then calculate it out to a number of shares. It'll vest for 3 years and can be earned every anniversary year. So that means every time your cap resets, you can earn the first closed award again. And ideally, every single year you're going to be getting that. So at the very least, you're getting 2,000 Rand base of free stock given to you every single year with EXP. So that's our first award. Pretty simple, pretty easy. The second award is the capped award. Now, the capped award you receive, as you might guess, by payment of a full company cap. Once you have achieved that cap, you will then receive it. It's worth 4,000 Rand, calculated in the same way, vesting for 3 years. So that means every year that you are with EXP, when your cap resets, you can earn 6,000 Rand in awards just by hitting your cap. There's no additional cost to you out of pocket or anything along those lines. You just need to close transactions, reach your cap, and there you go. You're getting 2 stock awards every single year. And it's pretty fantastic. We don't really see that offered many other places. Our third award is the sponsor award. And now this is probably the most complicated of this set of awards, but still not too terrible. Now, the sponsor award, as you might guess, you earn by sponsoring another agent into EXP. So once they've joined and declared you their sponsor, they will then load into your revenue share downline and, then be associated to you at that point. Once your sponsee has achieved their first full unit closing with the company, they will get their first closed award. And when they get their first closed award, you will get the sponsor award for them. So effectively, the idea here is that, you sponsor an agent to DXP, they have their first closing, you get stock for them as well as revenue share for them. And you get that award once per sponsored agent. So it is not cyclical in any nature. It is just a one-time thing that you will receive for, achieving the recruitment of a sponsee and then them having a closing. So that's the sponsor award worth 4,000 Rand, calculated in the same way. There's one additional caveat about the sponsor award that throws people off that I always like to make sure folks are aware of. The sponsor award is the only award at EXP that is contingent on not just you staying with the company for the full 3-year vesting period. The sponsor award also requires the sponsee to stay with the company for that full 3-year period as well. So it is very good to keep in mind that, if your sponsee should depart, then your sponsor award will be forfeit. The idea there being is, Glenn, when he designed this award, wanted sponsors lifting their sponsees up and, making sure their sponsees are having the most positive, beneficial experience that they can possibly have with the company and staying for their full vest. So that way they're getting their award and having just a positive experience. So these are our 3 most common awards you see earned here at the company. All of them are pretty easy to understand. And again, there's no cost to you for any of these. You just get them as you close transactions or you recruit an agent into the company. That's it. You're not paying anything out of pocket. And again, you're all a part of this program already. No action needs to be taken to get involved. You're already in it. So it's just a really powerful thing that I bet some of you have already earned stock awards from without even realizing and just loaded into your account. We'll talk about that here upcoming, how you can view that. Now, moving on, we have the Icon Award, which is the big ticket award here at the company, the one that everybody talks about, that you can earn your cap back in stock. And that is true, but it does have a bit of a misnomer that I have found during my many years here at the company. Folks often say if you get the Icon Award, you earn your cap back in stock. But it is technically speaking the Icon Awards. It is a series of awards that you earn at the company that allow you to earn your cap back in stock. There's 3 of them: the Production Award, the Culture Award, and the Event Award. Now, I don't dig too deeply into the icon qualifying requirements in this training. It is just something that we often don't focus too heavily on just because a lot of agents don't want to write down a bunch of metrics. So usually what I will say is, if you want to know the production requirements, you're welcome to reach out to my team at stock at exprealty.net. We can send it to you. The Icon team can also send it to you. It's readily available. It's just we don't throw metrics left and right, especially because I'm already covering so much info. But to talk through the Icon award sequence so you have an understanding of it is effectively, it always begins with the production award. Once you've achieved the production award, which is effectively payment of a full company cap, and then the requirements thereafter, that is often closing a certain amount of transactions and paying enough in cap status transaction fees post cap. You will receive this production award worth 75,000 Rand. That will begin your Icon benefit year when you get that production award. That is a 12-month period following becoming an Icon agent, during which you can earn your cultural award and your event award. Now, before I talk about those, let's talk about Icon calculation because it is slightly different compared to all other awards. The Icon awards, instead of using the conversion rate on the last day of the month and the stock price on the last day of the month in which they were earned, always uses the 15th of the following month. So if somebody became an Icon agent here in October, then November 15 would be their Icon qualification date. That would then use the conversion rate from Rand to US dollars and the stock price for determining their value of stock and the number of shares. And the production award, once posted, vests for 3 years. And like I said, then begins your 12-month period where you can earn the cultural award and the event award. To earn the cultural award, you pretty much have to meet the cultural contributions laid out by the company. That can be a number of things. That is things like mentoring agents, teaching classes, being a part of panels, all that kind of stuff. Effectively giving back to your fellow agent here at EXP and making sure you are lifting up everybody, since our Icon agents are the exemplars of the company, and we want to make sure that they are helping to lift all our agents up and make our company better for everybody. The cultural award is earned once you meet these requirements. Each thing you do is worth a certain number of points, and once you have achieved 20 points, you'll earn the award. It's worth 70,000 Rand, and then again, it's calculated in that same way, except this is the first award to break our 3 year vesting period. The cultural award vests in a single year with the company. And if you've attended any of my trainings I've had in the past or just read about it, you might notice that that is a change. It used to be the cultural award vested for 2 years, but company leadership wanted to, sweeten the deal, I suppose you might say, and they reduced it down to a single year vest. So for our agents who become an Icon agent, within a year of earning that, they're going to be seeing a nice big stock award vest that'll be issued to them. And then beyond that, all our agents who become an Icon agent can then earn a 5,000 Rand through the event awards, where they participate in 2 social responsibility events. For each event attended, they will get an award worth 2,500 Rand, calculated in the exact same way I was mentioning, with no vesting requirement whatsoever. So just by going to one of these events, you receive 2,500 Rand as a stock award. That is just yours. It's kind of like the agent equity program. And it'll load into your account, and you can turn around, transact on it as soon as you might like. It is just, paid out to you as you would, as the agent equity program works. And so by becoming an Icon agent, you can earn all of these awards in the sequence, earning $150,000 Rand worth of stock, which is your cap back in stock. So it's a pretty incredible program. We do not see it offered pretty much anywhere else. And it is truly, an incredible value proposition to be able to earn that back. And so those are all of our stock awards that we have here at the company. It's quite a few of them. That's probably a big deluge of information. But just to sort of draw it back into the overall discussion of our stock programs, just because I like to sort of touch base on that as we go through. You're all already part of the stock awards plan. So you're all passively obtaining stock with the company, which is fantastic. As each of you have a closing within your anniversary year, you're going to get stock. But maybe if you are a part of the agent equity program, that is awesome. But if you aren't, maybe consider participating if you feel like you can contribute to that 5%. Start purchasing stock. Our price is down, like I was saying, so it's a great opportunity. though completely understand if you do not want to be a part of it. And if you do become a part of it, you can come and go from it as you might like, just remembering it always changes on the first of the following month. And so you're going to want to look at our stock programs kind of just as the real estate market changes and your life changes, that it's going to be flexible to you. You'll always get this passive stock, but maybe you'll want to more actively obtain stock at different points. And we'll just encourage you to keep an eye on the stock as time goes on and hopefully, build up a nice basis. And that's my big spiel about the different programs. Now we need to talk about where your stock actually lives. I've been talking a lot. I need to take a sip of coffee really quickly. And if anybody has any questions, feel free to open your mic or just throw it in the chat box. All right. I think we're good then to continue onward for our final section of this training, which is ShareWorks by Morgan Stanley. We've talked a lot about how you can obtain stock. We've not talked a lot about where your stock actually lives, which is in the ShareWorks system. Now, just so everybody here is sort of aware of the hierarchy of how it works, Morgan Stanley is the parent company which owns the ShareWorks system. So you all have received a ShareWorks account, which is owned by Morgan Stanley. And this is your equity management platform. This is where all of your stock is going to be depositing. When the time comes that you might want to sell some stock, this is where you're going to potentially sell some stock if you would like. And it is sort of the one-stop shop for all things related to stock here at the company when it comes to viewing it. Now, I create ShareWorks accounts every Monday for everybody who joined at the company in the previous week. So if we do have anybody who joined, yesterday or today, welcome to the company. It's great to have you here. You'll receive your account on Monday. I'll go ahead and create it. And once created, it will be sent, or an invitation will be sent to you to create your account. As soon as it's created, it is registered in your name only. So if you are paid to a business in some capacity, the account will still be in your name. So it is just worth keeping in mind just to be ready for that. And the way you're going to access your ShareWorks account is through Okta. Now, Okta, hopefully everybody here is familiar with. It's sort of your dashboard where a bunch of EXP programs are stored. And one of the buttons on your Okta dashboard is the ShareWorks tile, which you'll click and it will sign you into ShareWorks. It's a simple button click. It's very easy. It does not require any login credentials or anything along those lines. So it's pretty simple. It's pretty quick to get in. And once you've signed in, it'll load you into your ShareWorks account that we'll need to talk about activation. And we don't show tons here at this slide deck of a ShareWorks account just due to the fact that we're not really allowed to. So what I always like to say for everybody here who's looking for like an in-depth tour is at the very last slide of this training, there is a link to the South African agent shareholder hub, I believe it is. And in there, we have a ton of recordings of ShareWorks accounts that you can go through and check out. So we're not allowed to show it in a training for various reasons with Morgan Stanley, but we do have videos prepared on a website that you can check out. So there is a way to see what it looks like. But I really recommend folks just log into your Okta and then over to your ShareWorks tile, click that, and log in to check it out. And within ShareWorks, that is where you're going to have anywhere, anytime access to your stock awards. So you're going to see those under your portfolio tab. You can check those out, see how many shares of stock you have, what they are currently worth, and that kind of stuff. And you'll be able to see your issued stock awards, so the ones that have fully vested that you can transact on, and any stock you've purchased through the Agent Equity Program. And within there, it's where you can transact on it. You can sell it if you would like, or you can link a personal investment brokerage account, which will allow you to move your stock to another brokerage if you don't want to sell it, but you don't want to keep it in ShareWorks. We don't require you keep it in ShareWorks at any capacity whatsoever. You can do with it as you like. It is entirely up to you. And additionally, in ShareWorks, you're going to get information alerts about certain key events. So, for example, if a dividend is paying, there will be a notice of a dividend paying. If, for some reason we declare a split in the future, you'll see notice of a split declared, that kind of stuff. It'll all be managed through your ShareWorks account. And in addition, we do have dedicated support through our participant experience group that you can always call. But beyond that, you also have our team here at the company. We're all pretty much experts on ShareWorks, so we can happily advise as much as possible on anything related to it. So this is my broad overview. I got a couple of things I want to talk about. Now, the first time you log into your ShareWorks account, you are going to need to fill out something called a W-8BEN form. And this form has thrown off people across the world for very fair reason because it's a US tax form. And, filling out another country's tax forms can be a little bit, startling and confusing and worrisome. So when you go in to activate your account and you see this, do not be alarmed. Effectively, what the W-8BEN is, it is a form certifying that you are not subject to US taxes. So this is the tax form to not owe US taxes, and you fill it out, and it will just certify that you're all clear, that you're paying taxes in South Africa, not in the US. So we do have a guide prepared for how to fill it out, and I can distribute that here at the end. We also have it on our website. But just be prepared that they will have you fill that out, and it is correct, so do not worry too much about it. And then I touch on our tax treatment documents here. So just a quick review. We've prepared tax supplements for all of our programs. You can find them when you log into ShareWorks, specifically under the documents section of ShareWorks, as well as on our shareholder hub. We do recommend you go in and check those out just so you are aware of the taxation and how they work. But that said, you don't need to memorize it. You can download it. You can give it to an accountant. And additionally, EXP employees can't give tax advice. So this is what you'll want to get from the company is these tax treatment supplements, because they will help you, understand the taxation when that time comes. So you are prepared for that. And then my final slide here that I have is my contact information and resources. So for anybody here who is not emailed with us, our email is stock@exprealty.net. For reference, we are a 2-person team for all 90,000 folks here at the company. So bear with us if we can't always hop on the phone immediately, but we do maintain a 24-hour response time during weekdays. So you can always reach out and we'll get back to you within 24 hours, provided it's not a holiday. And additionally, you can always request a phone call with us. So we're happy to set up a phone call, a Google Meet, a Zoom, whatever works best for you. We'll get it arranged because we know that sometimes email doesn't work and you just need to talk to an individual. So that's how you get a hold of us, is stock@exprealty.net. If you're ever looking into the Icon program and you have questions, you can always reach out to the Icon team at iconaward@exprealty.net. And then the most important thing here probably is this link here, our South African Shareholder Hub. I highly recommend everybody, if you can, bookmark that. I will copy it and paste it into the chat here in a bit, just for the fact of that website has everything that I have talked about and then some. We just did a big update of it earlier last month, I think, where we just sort of brought it in line with all of our other websites. So we highly recommend you get in there, you check it out, you bookmark it, so that way you can review this if you ever have any questions. And then beyond that, we have ShareWorks' phone number that you are always welcome to, call if you ever have questions for them. And our workplace group you can join. We just post about random stock things. There's a bunch of classes that you can attend offered by Morgan Stanley and all that kind of stuff. And I believe that is about everything I have prepared on my slide deck here. And I just grabbed my link here. So everybody, you're welcome to go to that website and bookmark it. That just has all of our stock programs in there. So we highly recommend you bookmark that. But any questions for me here this evening?
Fantastic. Thank you, Dean, so very, very much for all of this. So guys, let's have a look. Have you got a question? Did you know that you are a shareholder? That's absolutely amazing. So first out of the gates, Kerry, go for it. You've got your hand up. And the hand jumped down. That was either giving us a high five.
No. I do have a question. Thanks, Stuart. Thanks, Dean, for that. I'd like to know, when we get our email from ShareWorks and it says we must go on and log on, do we have to accept that to be activated, or does it happen automatically?
That's a fantastic question. So you do not actually have to activate your account to become a part of your the stock award program, or activate your account, or become a part of the stock program. We do strongly encourage folks log into ShareWorks, because that's where you manage your enrollment in the agent equity program. But let's just say you forget to activate your ShareWorks account and 6 months pass. That's fine. You're still getting stock awards. Your stock will continue to vest. It's all completely okay. So there's no direct requirement.
Super, thanks.
Great question.
Fantastic, Harry. Thank you so much. Any other questions? It's always good to ask those questions, especially if it's the unknown. Remember, the simplest question could give you the greatest answer. So, any questions, you can either pop it in the chat box. I've got it there. And Dean has shared that link through to the equity opportunity, that link where you can actually read up and see more about it. And or pop on a microphone, say hello. Welcome to the other side of the world.
Hi, Stuart.
Yes, Vanessa.
So I've got shares that say unavailable and available, and the available obviously is 0 and unavailable is 88 shares or whatever. How do you make them available? And once they're made available, what do you do with them?
Great question. So unavailable refers to your stock awards. Like I was saying, they have that vesting period where you are waiting for the stock to become vested and thus the shares get issued to you. So you just need to stay an agent with EXP and they will naturally vest with time, typically 3 years. And then once they move to available, then it's kind of up to you what you want to do with them. You know, a lot of folks just kind of like to let them sit. It'll pay dividends to you on a quarterly basis, and then beyond that, you know, you can sell them if you would like, but it's entirely up to you.
Okay, great. Thanks so much.
Yeah, great question. Go ahead, Monica.
Hi there. Just for the sake of some of my colleagues, I wanted to share that I have actually sold some of my EXP shares, not because I didn't want them, but because I wanted to test that it works, that I could actually sell them. There's no point sitting on shares and maybe you run into trouble or something and you need to cash out something. I went and tested it. So it actually works. I think it took about 3 days and the money was in my account. So just to say, it actually works.
I appreciate the verification. That is a good thing to have there.
I don't think you're going to get that too often, Dean, as people actually doing a verification. But welcome to South Africa, where we will make sure that this is legitimate. And this is not some kind of Ponzi scheme or anything of that nature.
I appreciate the research.
Yeah, this is legitimate. It's listed on the NASDAQ. It's the EXPI shares. It is where you're having the opportunity to become a shareholder. In fact, if you've done a transaction, you're already one step into it. And if you are putting it through the programs, you're actually growing that portfolio for your future. And that's ultimately what we want. We want that plan that when you hit to that retirement age and you're thinking at the age of 80, do I really have to sell properties? Well, if you've been with EXP for a number of years and you've started to collect all those shares, that could actually be your retirement plan, because the great thing is it's in dollars. And that conversion ratio through to South Africa is very, very favorable, especially if that price goes through the roof. So any final thoughts, comments, or questions from anybody on this session before we close it up? We are 11 minutes before the top of the hour, and it's been a great honor to have you, Dean, on the call. So it looks like we are fairly clean, and you've answered all those particular questions. Dean, I want to say a huge thank you. It was so quick when you responded to say yes, and thank you so much for coming. Any final thoughts or comments from yourself?
Thank you for having me. I always really appreciate the opportunity just to talk with everybody. And my main thought is, you know, even though we are, you know, a remote company where we're all over the place, always feel free to reach out. I always try and make sure I'm very easy to get a hold of, and I recognize that, you know, participating in a stock plan, you know, buying stock that's valued in US dollars can be intimidating. So if you ever have any questions, if you ever need a one-on-one meet, just reach out to me. You know, I am more than happy to try and demystify any questions you have, and we are here to support you. And yeah, I think those are sort of my final thoughts.
Excellent. Dean, again, thank you so much for your time. At least now you're ready for work, getting closer to 8 o'clock. So you've had all this energy and exercise in the morning with a whole lot of us down here in South Africa. So guys, I want to thank all of you for coming onto this particular call. Session has been recorded. If you are wanting somebody to step in and re-watch this particular session, look out. I'll have it uploaded in the workplace group. That is the coaching and training in South Africa, probably within the next 2 hours or so. So have a fantastic evening. And Dean, again, thank you so much. My final thoughts going into today: remember, the future of your real estate It's starting right now. Thank you all. You have a fantastic evening.